Hey, what is up guys, it's your boy Twit here, and guess what? We got leaks. Pansirone coming out. I know there are a lot of people hype about her because supposedly she's the crazy girl and people kind of like crazy girls. I don't know why. But let's go over her skills and why I think she could be good. Now, we don't have the amplifiers, we don't know the actual ticks what she does, but I'm probably gonna get her just to test her out. If you guys wonder too long didn't read, go down to the comments and I will put it into the description, all of the links that I'm reading out right now. But let's get into it. So first of all, she's a mechanic that, well, could be good, could not be, but whatever. She's a physical damage dealer and she specializes in insta damage and wide area damage. So basically I'm thinking burst, I'm kind of thinking eclipse, but I could be wrong with that. So what is her kit? Now, first of all, something that I noticed straight away is the cooldown, 22 seconds, which is insane on the S1. Wait, 20 seconds on the other skill, 21 seconds? That is a long amount of cooldown. There's a quirk to this. If we go to the Unique Treasure 4, you got yourself this. Onto a 5-star, you get 7.5 second skill reduce cooldown. Now, I'm not sure if it's on a proc. If it's on a proc, you get a spammable character. If it is not, however, it still can be good. Pair up with Rahartna, pair up with Audi. It seems like we could work something with this. But then let's go over to the real skills. So it says attack enemies, blah blah blah, wide range. Now I'm pretty much comparing this to Zephyr's S1. Hits just about anything except for the very backline. So in PvP terms, front and midline will get hit, backline won't. So what does it do? Heal rate reduce, which I'm instantly thinking, wall killer, nice. Also could be used in Xanados. I'm not quite sure if that is the case. And you get another skill within 10 seconds that you can use, which does extra damage. Now also for the perks, we got an N1 light, and that is just for this skill. Hit enemies take 25% damage, 10 seconds. Now for the cooldown, it seems like not even 50% uptime, but if you get the Unique Treasure up, seems really good, seems plausible, especially if you get Rahartna and Audi on that. That way you can create a 100% uptime, what I think. So the other one is grant immunity to CC for the duration of the skill. Now it says attacks enemies in a wide frontal range 7 times. So I'm thinking this is the flamethrower part. So deals a lot of damage, extra damage onto Eternal Blaze, which is inflicted the moment you press the S1. So extra damage and non-hero damage extra. So I'm assuming she could be good in the PvE department. Also seems like a skill that is very useful onto the very start of PvE. So could she be a beginner hero? Could be. Let's go over to the next part. S2, long ass cooldown. His enemies within range of self 12 times. Now I am not sure if I'm fond of this. If we go over Rahartna's S2 skill, which is also an AoE radius, that is depleted by her movement. So if she is not up at the front line, guess what? Nobody's getting healed. What if this is the case? That the AoE range is not long enough and maybe only the front lines get hit? Then I'm not quite sure if I'm digging this skill. But you get an attack increase. Modifiers has not been shown yet. This is just a level 1. And the defense penetration up at 500 for 15 seconds. Once again, if you get the Unique Treasure 4, you can have a 100% uptime on this buff, which is obviously insane. Okay. For the perks, reduces mana cost by 1, whatever. Upon activation, HP doesn't fall below 10% for 5 seconds. And this instantly makes me think about Trial of Sky, where you could get one shot by, I think it's a wind blade or something, does a lot of damage, and guess what? This way you could be surviving that without any problems. So could she be good for Trial of Sky? I think so. AoE damage, wide AoE range. Zephyr also hits every single of the domes with the S1, meaning that everything gets hit. Great. So moving on, S3, don't you dare run. And I'm not quite sure whatever happens with this, but attacks a random enemy 10 times, dealing a total of damage, blah blah blah. Every time Pansirone deals damage, the same target. Okay, so this makes me wonder, is it like every single one of the hits will be on random characters? Or is it one random character, 10 hits? Because otherwise the skill doesn't make any sense. So I'm assuming that it is the very first part, where you get 10 hits and it hits all sorts of random stuff. So it is better when there's just one target, because the damage will amplify and increase by a lot. So looking pretty good. And guess what? Hit enemies are inflicted with stun for 2 seconds. I am thinking, if you got one boss, you pop the skill on this one, the stunning bar gets straight up depleted. But I'm not sure about that. Funny thing is, increases the mana cost by 2 and changes the number of targets to 3. Now I'm thinking Guild War instantaneously. I'm thinking PvP as well. So there's a lot of ways that we could work with this. And we got the S4, the passive, attack increase, still no modifiers, and fun fact, non-hero damage, 30% increase. Awesome. So that means bosses, PvE in general, anything. And you get attacking enemies inflicted with Eternal Blaze reignites Eternal Blaze. So going up to the very top, Eternal Blaze take over, blah blah blah, and the heal rate reduce is permanent for what it seems. So if you hit a frontliner, you got practically permanent Eternal Blaze from it. Sounds nice. Also, Eternal Blaze stacks become irremovable with the light. Seems alright, but not quite sure. Every time Pansirone attacks an enemy with Eternal Blaze, recovers mana. Now, she has a really high cooldown, so I'm not quite sure how good this will be. But supposedly, if there is a way for her to spam her skills, she could be absolutely insane. T5 Dark for 200 seconds at the beginning of the battle, blah blah blah, and you stack this up. So basically, you get 15 seconds, you get a stack up to 20 times, and that could be really good for, once again, Trial of Sky. Would this be good at World Boss 2? I'm not quite sure. She doesn't, or well, she does have a stun, but she won't do the real crowd control. So she would instantaneously go for a damage dealer. Now we have a lot of those. So would she be better than the usual ones? Now let's go over to the unique treasures. Reduces mana cost by 1, blah blah blah, damage increase. Okay, sounds good. Damage increase by 50, but still cooldown really high. Would this be beneficial over S4? Nah, don't think so. For the S2, however, upon using the skill, dispels negative effects and gains immunity to CC up on 4 seconds. On to maximum, it's 10 seconds. So I would compare this one to the S2 of Bernheim, which allows them to get CC immunity. And with the perk, you can actually remove all of your debuffs and stay in that. Can get dispelled, however, so it has a weakness. On to the S3, Don't You Dare Run, increases damage, and every time Pansirone deals damage on an enemy, increases crit damage for 10 seconds. So you got 10 hits, and if you got multiple hits, you can do this times 20. You can get up a 5-star, 100% extra crit damage. So that sounds really good, but once again, we're having a deal with cooldowns. If you, however, get yourself, once again, Rahardna and Audi in a team with her, she could be really, really good. So I'm kind of looking forward to that. 2 things I haven't mentioned yet. Her unique weapon is a basic stacking one. So any single time she attacks, you can get up to 20 stacks, and you get a defense and attack increase, going up to 50% onto a 5-star. Sounds really good. Not quite sure how it will play out because of modifiers. Now we still got the soul weapon, and this is leaked as well, and I will be making another video on this. Let's check it out. So attack speed increased for 8 seconds. Now 8 seconds is not that long in my opinion. Afterward, attacks enemies, blah blah blah, range 3 times. Okay, last hit will place terraces, blah blah blah. Debuff 8 seconds. Every 1 second you will get physical damage, a debuff, and if there already is an eternal flame, a blazing, guess what? You get 35%. Sounds fun, and probably on the modifier, she is on the high end of that. So I'm not quite sure how much damage this will do, but I'm very curious about it. And Phasma Phase 1 damage increased by 100%, so this will be all doubled up. And the attack boost effect in Terrestrial Plant will be 4 seconds increased at stage 2. I am not thinking this is straight up OP, but I haven't seen her work yet. So make sure to tune in to my stream the moment it gets out, because I'm gonna buy her, see how she works, and go from there. If you guys have any questions or your opinion, put this obviously into the comments, but for now, this was Twebu. Peace!